Can you tell us about some of the experiences that have stood out to you and why? And Tess, I know you have a story.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite experiences during residency so far has been our resident retreat. So each year, our residency gets the opportunity to spend a weekend of all of us together. And so it takes a little bit of effort because the attendings have to cover the floor. So there's a lot of like scheduling that kind of goes around this. Our attendings essentially kind of take over our jobs, and they cover the floor. They cover all surgeries and everything so that the 40 of us residents can all have a weekend of kind of bonding and spending time with each other and kind of resident wellness. And I think this last year was a really fun experience. All 40 of us got together. We spent the weekend either like at dinner. We were able to we did like a scavenger hunt. But one of the things that one of our wellness chiefs did, which I thought was one of the coolest things that I've ever had happen, is she essentially was able to reach out to all of our like family members or like significant others secretly, and had them all write a note to all of us individual residents about how proud they were of us. And then on our wellness retreats, we got these like surprise letters from our significant others and our loved ones about just kind of like how proud they were and of us becoming doctors, and just kind of like special notes for us. And I thought that was just, for a program to be able to come together and be able to pull that off, I thought was really special. And I just thought that being able to participate in the wellness retreat in general was a really, really cool opportunity. And I got to know my co-residents really well. And I was very appreciative of our attendings who were able to give us that opportunity throughout the weekend.
And now more than ever, I know that showing you all appreciation, the time you're all putting in at the hospital, I think that is very special and very important that you were acknowledged. Now, Stephanie, did you have a story as well?
Yeah, so a little bit similar, what Tess was saying, how we're so grateful for our staff being able and willing to take over our jobs and our duties on service. So in the radiology department, twice a year, pre-pandemic times, of course, we would get half a day off to go do an activity with our entire program. So in the past, we have gone go-kart racing for an afternoon. One afternoon we went an indoor rock climbing park. We've gone to spring training games, and it's all paid for by the department, and our attendings do our jobs for the from lunch until the entirety of the day. So that's been something that has been so much fun and such a fun way to get acquainted with our residents. So each year, all the new residents can kind of become more friends with the more senior residents, and we get to do something really fun throughout Phoenix.
And I think that's pretty important too. You always have to have a little bit of fun with your work, a little bit of play with your work. Now, Sharjeel, what kind of experience have you had?
Yes, I can answer that. Being in the ER gives you a unique perspective as an internal medicine resident to see things before you kind of would normally see them as an internal medicine resident. For example, I was doing an ER shift a couple of weeks back. It was a night shift. A patient came in with a STEMI, which is otherwise known as a ST elevation MI, or otherwise it's a heart attack, which is kind of like an emergency where they have to activate the cath lab, and the patient needs to have a catheterization to see where the blockage is in the heart. And usually we, as an internal medicine resident, we see those patients after all of those things are done, and we kind of take care of the patient once the blockage is removed. But being in the ER, you actually get a chance to see that initial EKG. You see those initial labs, which leads you to believe that this patient is actually having this medical emergency that needs to be taken care of within the next 90 minutes, or the patient could pass away. So it was very interesting to work that up, activate the cath lab, and get the ball rolling from the very beginning, rather than inheriting the patient once that initial crucial period was already taken care of. So a very unique perspective, being an internal medicine resident is working in the ER.
Can only imagine. Thank you.
Absolutely.